Hey guys, so today we're going to talk about major chords, minor chords, and the super, hyper, ultra, mega, meta. So the way that Jun Lee lays this out is as a Lydian scale that doesn't return to the root, basically. So instead of C, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, you get something like a sharp 1 at the top, which, doesn't really make sense in terms of a scale because it never returns to its first note. If you take this far enough, eventually it does, but it would be a gigantic scale. Instead of thinking of it this way, I like to think of it more like a 4-note pattern. So you just have C, D, E, F sharp, right? So you get the first 4 notes of the Lydian scale. Then G, A, B, C sharp, first 4 notes of the Lydian scale, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, and so on, cycling through the keys in fifths, basically. So if we start here, we get super, hyper, super, ultra, blah, 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 Lydian, right? If we start on the second note, we just get a normal major scale starting on D. D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D. This is E Dorian. So if we start the grouping on this 4th note, we get 1, flat 2, flat 3, flat 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7, 1. Or in other words, a Phrygian scale that also comes from the key of D. He also mentions something that he doesn't name, but he says this is basically the opposite. So essentially, if you look here, you're going through the circle of fourths, right? So G, C, F, B flat, etc. in a 3-note pattern. So the first 3 notes of a major scale, basically, I guess you could say. If you break this up into groupings of 8 notes, then you'll see that this first group is G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, or in other words, a G Mixolydian scale. And if you break up the notes from A to A, you get A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, right? In other words, an A Aeolian or natural minor scale. If you go from this B, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B flat, then you get a Locrian scale that goes flat on the root. And if you go through each 3-note group in this pattern, for example, this G group, right? G, A, B, we just went through that, and we went 8 notes across. We got a Mixolydian scale, we got an Aeolian scale, and we got a Locrian with a flat 1 at the top, instead of returning to the root. Now if we go over to this C, we're going to get another Mixolydian scale. If we go to this D, we're going to get another Aeolian scale. If we go to this E, we're going to get yet again a Locrian with a flat 1. I would say that it makes the most sense to call it super, ultra, hyper, mega, whatever, Lydian, because this is not a normal scale. And I would say that potentially makes the most sense to call this super, ultra, hyper, mega, meta, Locrian for the same reason, because you get a scale that you don't really find anywhere else. So in the same way that super, ultra, hyper, mega, meta, Lydian continually wraps itself around the brighter side of the circle of fifths, this super Locrian sound continually wraps itself around the darker side. You've actually been hearing this sound throughout the video. Alright, thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please click like, and please subscribe if you want more theory made simple. Bye!